Okay, so when you load up the app, you'll see all of your jobs coming up here on the left hand side. On the right hand side there's the diary function, so you can scroll through to see what's in your inbox, what's booked in for that particular day. Any jobs that have already been submitted and sent back to the office you can see in submitted. So the example that I'm going to use is a loft and a cavity job at the top job there at 8 Redwood Grove. So irrespective of whether it's got just a cavity, just a loft or a dual measure, you'll only ever get one entry per property. So if you go ahead and tap on that, we'll take it into the property. It'll bring it up at this overview screen. If you just click surveys at the top of the screen there, that will bring up all of this. You can ignore everything from customer satisfaction downwards, so those bottom 5 sections, you can ignore them. The only bit we're interested in is the install sections at the top and the section called other eco evidence documents. So obviously if it was just a cavity, you would just see Eco2 cavity install and then other Eco2 evidence documents. So what you would do is go to site and presumably get your photographs first of all. So if you go and click on other eco evidence documents, you'll then be presented with this screen. So for the cavity wall, you're going to take 2 lots of photographs, one for your mid and one for your post install photographs. So select 2 there, go ahead and press on document 1, and it asks you what documents you're evidencing. On the sheet that we've given you to send to site, you've got the codes that are associated with mid and post install photographs. So go ahead and click on add, and then you can search at the top here. So the code for mid install photos is PICM, so that will allow you to select that. Press done, and then press next in the bottom right hand corner. That'll take you to this screen. Make sure you press add photo, don't press select, because that will bring up your camera roll, and any photographs that are imported from your camera roll won't be date and time stamped. So go ahead and click on add photos, and then you would just take all of your mid install photographs, as many as you like. When you've finished taking the photographs, press done, and then it'll ask you to label these. So it saves previous descriptions that you've chosen before, so you can see I've already inputted those in the past on previous jobs. So you could put in here mid install photos cavity. Now that'll remember it next time, so if you're doing a dual measure, the office know which are your it'll separate them based on the cavity in the loft. So mid install photos cavity, click next, and then you'll see that option comes up to select. So just go ahead and label the rest of the photos, select mid install next, and then that you'll see in the bottom there it's labelled all of those photographs. So that's your mid install photographs done. Click next in the bottom right, go back into documents, which is currently showing in as 2 in red, and then you could go into document 2 and take your post install photos. So click add, PICA for post install photos, go ahead and select that, done, next, add photos again, and you would take all of your post install photographs, click done, let's label it like that, and then just like you did with your mid, just go ahead and label all of those photographs. So that's your mid and your post install photographs done. They're all date and time stamped, and they'll all go back in a PDF back into the office. So click next, And then for your cavity, you can then close that down. So hit close in the top left, and you'll see the other Eco documents are now showing as completed. So we can go ahead and complete the cavity install, second from top. Now, for a while you're going to be getting the actual hard copy of the declaration of conformity signed, so don't worry too much about the information that you put in here. So you would select an installation date and a handover date. Don't waste time putting in the name of the installation company and some of these other sections, because it doesn't really populate anything back in the office. So I'm just going to go ahead and put non-applicable in that. Just put 100% in for these. What product was installed? Again, that's going to be on your actual hard copy declaration form, so don't worry too much about that. Thermal conductivity, non-applicable. War guarantee code. So this is the one section that you will have to put the correct code in. So for cavity, it will always be the same, and it's CYG CIG 02, and that's written on the sheet that we've laminated and sent to site for reference. So that all cavities will always have that bit of information in there. The other information in this section doesn't really matter what you put in there. Guarantee hasn't been applied for yet, so you can put non-applicable in there. Photo of cavity insulation, well, you've already taken your photos in that other section, so you can just put non-applicable, non-applicable to notes. And then you'll see that the cavity install's now got a green tick next to it. If it says started not completed, it means one of these sections here hasn't been completed, and you'll probably be able to spot quite easily which one's not been completed. So that's all done, so we can go ahead and close that in the top left, and you'll see that cavity install now is completed. So let's imagine you're now going to do your loft install as a second measure perhaps. So go back into the photographs. You want to create another two, mid-install and post-install, for the loft this time. So we need to create 4 lots of photographs, with the first 2 already been done on the cavity. And again, you would just go in and label that one as your mid-install photographs. Next, add photo. Same as before, take all of your photographs and then label them like that. I won't bother completing the last one, but you get the general gist of it. You go in and do your post-install photographs there. Let me just get rid of that. So for cavity, you're going to have 2 lots of documents, mid and post. For a dual measure, loft and cavity, you're going to have 4 lots of documents, 2 mid, 2 post. Then if you're doing a dual measure for the loft, you'd need to go in and complete this section. And again, same as before, this information here is not really going to go anywhere for the time being. So you can pretty much enter whatever you want. Don't waste too much time duplicating, because you're already getting that hard copy form signed by the customer. Pre-installation depth, just put 25mm. Again, it doesn't matter what you put down on there. Finishing depth 300. What product was installed? Non-applicable. Non-applicable. We're not using this photo section, so you can just do non-applicable to that. And finally that. So that's now gone to green, so you've completed it. So what you should end up with is your other Eco evidence documents will be marked as complete, and then depending on which measure or measures you're installing, the top 1 or 2 sections will go to complete. You can ignore customer sat downwards, so you'll see at the bottom of the screen it says assessment submission completed, not submitted. So when you've got access to data or Wi-Fi, if you just go ahead and click on the bottom right hand corner where it says completed, not submitted, and you just need to make sure that this successfully uploads. Okay, that's it, and then that job has now moved from a booked assessment into, there it is at the top there, and you're submitted. So that information's always available for you to go back into. And just for completeness, if you were only doing a cavity job, that loft install obviously just wouldn't appear. So on that job, I've just completed that section, making sure that the Ofgem wall code is put in as appropriate, but I've just pretty much ignored the rest of the information. And then within there, I've got all my mid-install photos and all my post-install photos.